What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're reviewing the Super 73 K1D.
And, K1D and
Roll the intro, man. Today we have got our hands on the Super 73 K1D, and we want to let you know if it is a hit or a miss. Is it a smash or a pass? So on the count of three, we're gonna say if this bike is a hit or miss. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hit.
Hit. I don't know why I'm putting up an E-Town gang sign, but hit, represent. When this started to come out and Super 73 started to release the promos, I'd say maybe a year and a half ago, Red saw me watching them, and we're a big Super 73 family. I've had the RX. I now have the RX in Rhino Gray. I also have the RX RSD Malibu collaboration with Roland Sands, which is a dope bike. But once we started seeing this guy started seeing, you started seeing the promos on my phone, and basically started begging for the bike. Do you remember when you first saw it?
When I first saw it, I have no idea what happened, but I assume I was probably like, oh, look at this bike. Oh, I want this bike. And then that's probably what happened. But what happened, I don't remember.
I remember I was in bed and you were laying beside me, and I started watching these videos, and you were like, Papa, I want one. Papa, can we get one? I'm like, honey, they're not out yet. They're not released. And then they were soon to be released, coming soon. We thought maybe the end of that summer, radio silence from Super 73 regarding the K1D. And then we got the email that it was out. But of course, not released in Canada. But this summer, we were planning to do a bike trip to Kelowna, Seattle, Coeur d'Alene, Calgary, and back anyways with our Super 73s. So I call up Triumph of Seattle, and my man Josh is like, well, we're getting 17 Super 73s in the week that you are in Seattle. Let me see if I have any of the K1Ds. Oh, guess what? We have one K1D coming in the Obsidian, the color that you want. So I'm like, let's get it. I bought it on the spot, on the phone, and we planned to pick it up, and we went to Seattle, and we did that. What was that? What was the song you were singing as we went to go pick it up again in Seattle?
Super 73. Super 73, hopefully. Super 73. Super 73, hopefully. Super 73.
John, what's up, brother?
What's up, man?
We're
Doing Super 73 stuff?
We're picking up the K1D for my son.
So cool.
Yeah.
So fun. Yeah, right on.
So
Let me show you
excited.
what Josh is.
Okay, let's go.
We are getting my new Super 73, hopefully.
Welcome to the shop.
Hey! Let's talk about some of the pros on the K1D. What are your favorite things about the bike?
So like when you pull down the throttle, like just gun the throttle, it just like goes insanely fast at the start, but then slows down a little bit.
It's super fast off the line, but because the bike and the rider is so light, you're just able to rip off the lines. The specs that they have on the website, mode 1 takes you up to 7 miles per hour, mode 2 takes you up to 13 miles per hour, and track mode, which is mode 3, is 15 miles per hour. It gives you a really good range to start with something that your kid can get comfortable with at a slower pace, and then as they get more comfortable, we went to level 2 right away because level 1 is quite slow.
The seat is very interesting. It feels soft at first, but then when you get off, it hurts your butthole.
That's not something you like, but that's a good thing to know because personally, all of the stock seats that come on the Super 73s are really, really uncomfortable. And I think maybe it's because they don't want to invest that money into the seat because they know that people are going to switch them out anyways. Right out of the box, the stock seats on all of these bikes hurt your ass. They suck. Going back to the precautions, I like that even the throttle handle grip is a different color. As an adult rider, it's very intuitive. All motorbikes are that way. But as a kid, you're kind of just learning to ride a bike to begin with, never mind adding a throttle into the mix. So I like that that's a different color just to really make that distinction for kids.
On my first ride, going on this bike, I kept on wondering, like, why is there only one brake and not two? And then, like, when we came back and at nighttime, and I decided to go on a bike ride, like, I finally realized when I was like, if you hold on to the brake and pull the throttle back, then, like, your hand's gonna get destroyed. Like, bye-bye to your hand.
The front tire has this quick release, which was super handy because we had the SUV packed to the brim, and I wasn't sure that we could fit the K1D in the back because we had the both of the RXs on the bike hitch on the back already. When I tried to shimmy that in there in Seattle, it didn't fit. It pretty much didn't fit. So luckily, we had the quick release that I was able to take off the front tire, and then with everything else that was in the X3, it just fit perfectly. So let's talk about the range a little bit. We haven't fully done a range test, but basically we got in gear 2 with a little bit of gear 3, about almost an hour of riding in Seattle before it...
55 minutes?
Yeah, 55 minutes before it completely died, right? So you can't go on 2-3 hour rides like you can with a 750 watt motor. But in comparison to what he could probably handle going on a regular bike at 30 kilometers per hour, keeping up with mom and pop, it's a lot more fun. He has a lot more fun riding. As a family, we can go a lot longer and a lot further in terms of distance because he's able to go faster without having to pedal so hard. I mean, another thing to note is that when we were looking at bikes locally at shops here, the range and the distance and the speed for double the price was actually half of what you're getting on the Super 73. So you were getting half the range, half of the speed, and double the price still for some of the stuff we were looking at here. But as we started comparing and I started looking at the basic specs that were available online for the K1D, it just wasn't even close. Another thing that I want to talk about is this lunchbox that comes with the charger and the book inside. When you do the packaging right, that's when you can really feel the premium quality of a product like Apple, and I think Super 73 kills that, right? You like this lunchbox, baby?
Yeah.
But this one looks like a comic book.
It's basically just like a comic book, like an action comic book, except like explaining what the bike has.
I think that instead of having your adult standard typical instructional booklet, they made it a comic book. It's for kids. That's a really cool and creative way to get the kids to read the information and learn about their bike. Kudos to you, Super 73. Excellent job once again. Finally, what I want to talk about is just like all of the Super 73 e-bikes, this bike looks dope. It is so good looking. They all have that sort of cafe racer style motocross look to them with the batteries on them. This one's sort of a cross between a dirt bike and a BMX bike. And I just think the design of this thing looks absolutely awesome with the handlebars and the foam that you get across that's branded with the 73 side plate that's plastic on there, down to the V tires with that gum rim around the edge of it. I think overall it just looks absolutely awesome. Now let's talk about some of the cons of this bike because it isn't perfect. No bike is perfect. Nothing is. There are some things you can always find that could be improved, and I think there are certainly a few things like that with this bike. The first thing that I want to talk about is some sort of a monitor for the battery so that you know the range. Like, it would be good to know how many more kilometers you have left that you can ride, and there isn't any sort of display like that or even a meter for the battery that shows you how much charge is left. That's a little bit of a pain, right? Because when we've been riding, we don't know how much further you can go. I've been having to like set a timer on my phone. So on top of not being able to monitor your range on the bike itself, you cannot connect it to the app so that you have a little bit more of those functionalities and capabilities. I think that's definitely a con. The other con related to the battery is it is a real freaking pain to get that battery back on. We were trying to do it. The guy at the dealership couldn't even figure it out. I had a little bit more knowledge really about Super 73s in general than he did, so he let me take a crack at it. But it's certainly not easy like the RX where you just pop it on where the grooves are and slide it till it clicks. Going back to the battery, you never have put the battery on yourself. It's easy to take off, so after your rides you're able to take it off and plug it in and charge it.
Yeah.
And now that the tire is fully pumped up, you're also not able to leave the battery on the bike and charge it while it's on the bike because you can't fit the charger connector into the slot while the tire is fully pumped up. I was able to do it and shimmy it in when the tire was flat, but now that it's full, you can't do that. But because it doesn't fit in there, you actually always have to take it off, plug it in, charge it up, and then putting it on is a pain. So that's a big con for me.
Why is there no pedaling?
I also kind of wish that it had pedals. It would be cool if it had pedals just like a regular bike, just like every single one of their other e-bikes where it has 4 levels of pedal assist. It would be nice if that was incorporated into this. Now, I feel like maybe they were just trying to keep it simple because kids are going to be riding this. It would be cool if this would also teach kids how to ride a regular bike. But I think not having the pedals on the bike is a little bit of a miss. If you want to exercise and the idea is you want to burn calories, maybe a Super 73 or any e-bike is not for you. Unless you want to exercise on your... Did you get it? Did you want it for exercise?
I could do push-ups on my bike.
How?
Like there would be an picture sitting on the bike, and then I start like going up land like this, and I put my feet on like the tire here or something, and then I start doing push-ups.
That is ridiculous.
So the brake is crazy, and like whenever you just like touch it, it just like skids.
It's super sensitive.
Yeah.
Now that you know how sensitive it is, you can kind of control the pressure a little bit, or would you still prefer like the brakes you have on your normal bike?
The brakes I have on my normal bike are like too hard to pull down. I don't think I've ever pulled them down all the way. And this one are just like too easy to pull down.
So somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we need to adjust them. Speaking of somewhere in the middle, I also, as a con, I kind of wish that there was a bike that was better sized for you, right? Because what are you gonna, now you're gonna be in between basically this bike and the Z Miami, which is the smallest version of the adult bike. And I think the Z Miami right now for you is a little bit big. Maybe by next summer, you'll be able to ride it. But there isn't really a youth or a kid bike that is the right size for you. That's something that's in between this and the Z Miami. Final thoughts on this bike. Absolutely love it. It is definitely a hit. I know Red loves it. He has enjoyed riding it. I love the look and the design, the simplicity. I love the precautions to give me some peace of mind as a parent. I also love the build quality of this bike. And the reason why I got my very first Super 73 S2 to begin with is that I wanted my kids to be able to ride with me. Now I love that as Red has grown and gotten bigger, he can have his own bike and it's fast and zippy and with enough range that we can go on really good, but it's also the joy that it brings us as a family, as the Super 70 Queens, baby, riding together on the trails and having the longevity and the power and speed to be able to rip together. Thanks for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. I hope you like this content. We've got more e-bike content coming up. Hope you like this. Parents, get this bike. Get the K1D. Your kids are going to love it. You're going to love it. It's dope. Super 73 knocked this one out of the park, baby.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. I will see you guys in the next video. So, goodbye.
Peace!